welcome to another episode of the Stacey Shiflett Podcast. I'm so grateful that you have taken time today to tune in, and I hope that today's episode will be an encouragement and blessing to you. I have been having a time with my throat. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's allergies. I don't know if I've had a cold. I think it might be a combination of the two. I asked the church just the other day how many of them had throat issues and allergy issues, and I think about 3/4 of them raised their hands. So I don't know what's in the air, but it has given me a fit over the last several weeks, and my voice has just been dry and raspy, and I've taken about every kind of medicine and cough drop and whatever else you can get your hands on to try to fix it. But anyway, covet your prayers. I got a lot of preaching appointments coming up, and just need my throat. So it has been almost a month since my last podcast. As you know, I do these on Friday when I have a Friday that's open. I haven't had one open for the last several weeks. And I was looking this morning, the last episode that I did, to God be the glory, between Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, just the video part of it had over 35,000 views. And so I appreciate all those that watch and listen. And of course, we're also on Apple podcast platform and Spotify. If you're going down the road and you're not able to watch the video, you can always listen to it on those platforms. And so it has been several weeks since I had a Friday open. As you know, my wife and I celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary on July the 15th. And so we got a little Airbnb up in Pennsylvania on a river, and we just spent several days up there just by ourselves, just kind of resting and being together and rejoicing in the goodness of God for 30 years. 30 years of wedded bliss, as they say. It's hard to believe that much time has gone by since we walked down the aisle there at Antioch Baptist Church in Harlem, Georgia, and made our vows. But there's been a lot of water under the bridge. But I thank God for my wife. She is a blessing, grew up in the ministry. She was a pastor's daughter, and she has just been an excellent helpmeet and an excellent pastor's wife. And I can honestly say this, I would not be where I'm at today without my precious wife, Grace. Thank God for her. She's a wonderful mother to our 5 children and our daughter-in-law and 2 son-in-laws. And of course, we got 2 grandsons, and Grace is she's just a wonderful homemaker, and I just thank God for her. I could not say enough about my wife. She's a blessing to me, and so we spent that whole week, most of that week, off together, and I was not able to do a podcast. And then the very next week, we had a revival with Pastor Barry Rackley from Rogersville, Tennessee. And my goodness, he preached Sunday morning, Sunday night, and then Monday through Friday, 7 absolutely phenomenal messages. I actually even contemplated taking time in this podcast to just go back and quickly recap each and every one of those, but I decided against it. But I will tell you this, they are in a playlist on our church's YouTube channel. If you just pull up Calvary Baptist Church, Dundalk, Maryland, we've got a YouTube channel. Most of you know that already, where we put all of our services. All of my preaching is on there, and any preaching that happens here in the pulpit at Calvary Baptist Church is on that playlist, on that Facebook, on that YouTube channel rather. And so we create a playlist. You can actually go over to YouTube and click on playlist, and every time there's a series or revival or special conference, all the messages are in a playlist. I'll tell you what you ought to do. You need to go listen to those messages, starting with Sunday morning all the way through Friday night. If you like good sound, I'm talking about sound Bible preaching, you ought to go listen to those messages that Brother Rackley preached during our summer revival here at Calvary Baptist Church. I'm talking about deep work in the hearts of God's people, surgical work. The Holy Spirit of God worked and moved. Altars were packed every night, just 3 or 4 deep all the way across the front of the altar. People backed up in the aisles, doing business with God. He had tremendous liberty. God gave us exactly what we needed. And so I was not able to do a podcast that week. And so I'm literally just trying to get caught up. Those of you that have been with us since the beginning, I went several years not even doing a podcast just because I've got so much going on. I felt like I was getting pulled in so many different directions. But I decided to go back and do these podcasts if I had time on Fridays. I don't do them during the week. I actually will sit right here. I get up early on Friday, get down here. I do these pretty much just live, extemporaneous. I got a few notes here on my laptop, but I pretty much just share my heart, whatever's on my heart. And then I'll jump on the computer and do the post-production and get this thing uploaded. And if I don't have a Friday to do that, then I don't even worry about it. It's been a while. And then also during that time, we celebrated our 11th year here at Calvary Baptist Church. It's hard to believe that we came here in July of 2014. And so God's had us here in Dundalk, Maryland, these 11 years. And my goodness, what a work God has done in this church and in our lives. We have watched God literally transform this church. And that's just not my opinion. You ask anybody that was here when we got here, what God has done in this church. And if you wouldn't even recognize it, just the transformation that God has done in this place. And it's a different place. It's unusual what God's doing here, which is the biggest reason why we don't offer our Bible college classes online. And that's another subject for another time. But I'm trying to, with God's help, duplicate. I'm praying for God to duplicate in our Bible college and in our Bible college students what God's doing in this church. And it's just impossible to do that from a distance over a computer monitor. I mean, you just got to be here. You got to be here and be involved and be a part of it. But this is an amazing church. Souls getting saved every week, baptized, enrolled in the discipleship ministry. God has done an unbelievable work. The principles of growth discipleship programs being used now literally all around the world. I wrote that program back in 2020 or 2021. I think it was 2021 when I finished the principles of growth discipleship curriculum. And God has used it. It's translated into nearly a dozen languages. And our folks here, we just had another 5 or 6 enroll this past Wednesday night. And that's just something that's constantly going on Wednesday nights. And it's the best thing as a pastor, I think, that I've ever done was get that discipleship ministry started. And then to see God allow it to be translated and used in countries all around the world has been a blessing. But God's doing an amazing work here. And so I've been working as hard as I can in between all that's going on trying to get this new book finished. It turned into a bigger project than I thought it would, where I'm taking the series I preached a couple years ago on the battle for our little ones. And my wife and I are doing a joint project. It just keeps getting bigger and keeps growing. And I just can't get liberty to release it till I feel like it's right. So I've been working on that, tweaking that, adding stuff to it, and editing that, just doing a whole lot of last minute changes and edits to get that book. I feel like it will help a lot of people. So I covet your prayers. I'm being pulled in so many different directions. Obviously, my number one priority is the pulpit ministry, working on the messages here. And so this podcast just kind of falls through the cracks sometimes, but that's okay. I appreciate your patience. And those of you that tune in and watch, I really do thank God for you. And I get a lot of text, a lot of emails, a lot of text messages, and even phone calls from folks that says the podcasts are a blessing. And I appreciate that. That really does mean a lot. And this may be the last podcast I do for several weeks because we got such a busy schedule coming up. In fact, we are flying out. Me and my wife and Zane are flying out in the morning down to Georgia, and I'll be preaching this Sunday, both services at Antioch Baptist Church in Harlem, Georgia. That's my old home church. That's where I went to Bible college. That's where I prepared for ministry. That's where my wife grew up. And her brother, David Young, is the pastor there, took over after his dad, Dr. Ronald Young, retired from the pastorate. And so I'll be down there on Sunday, both services. And then we'll also be there Monday night and Tuesday night. That is August the 4th and 5th. And so if you're in the area, anywhere near Harlem, Georgia, that's right outside Fort Gordon, there right off of I-20 going into Augusta. If you're anywhere near there, we'd love for you to come. The services start on Monday night and Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, and the Sunday services are at 11 and 6 o'clock p.m. on Sunday night. So be very much a prayer for us there. And so I'll be there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We'll fly back home Wednesday. I'll be here at Calvary Wednesday night, and then we will jump back on a plane, my wife and I, on Thursday morning, fly down to Pensacola, Florida, And I'll be doing a wedding down there on Friday for one of our preacher boys, Brother Josh Getzinger. Is getting married to Sister Lindsay Hurd from down there in southern Alabama. And so we've got a busy week. Fly back home on Saturday. Be here on Sunday. Let me mention this. Brother Josh is one of our Bible college students. He's starting his third year coming up here when our Bible college semester resumes in September. He's starting his third year, and God's given us a good crop of young men that we're training for the ministry. But Brother Josh has a podcast. He don't put something out every week. He's been getting ready to get married. He's been working on his house and getting all that done. Of course, he'll be on his honeymoon for a few weeks, but go over to YouTube and check out his podcast. It's called Reconciling All Men. And especially you younger listeners, you young men, you teenage girls, you young ladies, you'll really enjoy his perspective on a lot of things. So go check it out. Brother Josh Getzinger over at Reconciling All Men. RAM Ministries is what he calls it. And I know that'd be a blessing to you. He's got a real heart for God. And then we got next week after the wedding, then we come back. Then we've got youth conference. And if you're anywhere near here, I want to invite you to our youth conference. You don't have to be a young person. You have to be a young person to come and do all the activities. And I'll say a little bit more about that. But there'll be 2 messages every morning and 2 messages every night. And that is going to be on August the 13th through the 15th. Well, actually, 13th is a Wednesday night. But the 14th and the 15th is our youth conference. And we got 2 phenomenal preachers, Brother Charles Hamilton. Brother Charles Hamilton is going to be going up to Philly, and start a church. He's from Mississippi. And he's a fireball black preacher. I'm telling you, buddy, he will preach the paint off the walls. He was a professional baseball player with the Kansas City Royals before he got saved. And now he's going to be a church planter up in Philadelphia. And he will be here. And Pastor Michael Lindsay from Mayodan, North Carolina will be here. And they'll be preaching 2 messages on Thursday morning and Thursday night and Friday morning and Friday night. Those services will be live streamed. You do not want to miss those messages. They're going to be dynamite. But if you're anywhere near here and you've got young people, these are junior campers or teens that you would like to bring, if you'll reach out to us, we'll tell you how you can get registered for that. And we'll have a lot of activities after the morning sessions on up into the afternoons. And then we'll have church every night. And excited about that. And so I won't be able to do a podcast that week either because we're going to be absolutely swamped with all that's going on. Then the week after that is the Navajo Land Baptist Revival down in Arizona. And that is August the 20th through the 22nd. We're taking about 40 from our church on a missions trip to Navajo Land. We went several years ago and it was life-changing. And so we're going again this year. And the services will be hosted there at Ganado Baptist Church, Pastor Mark Haynes. And we're working with Brother Joel Haynes and all of the pastors there in the Navajo land. I think there's 12 or 13 churches that they've got going. And we've already custom printed literature, tracts, outreach cards for each and every one of those churches. They've already been designed, printed, and we've shipped it to them. And we're going to go out there and help pass out tracts and canvas every single one of those little towns on the reservation. And that'll be the week of the 20th through the 22nd. And I'll be preaching each night in that Navajo Land Baptist Revival. That'll be a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night. So we're going to fly out on Tuesday, fly back on Saturday. That's going to be a busy week as well. We covered your prayers, and I think those services are live streamed. If you'll mark your calendar, there's 2 preachers every night. I'm not 1,000% sure who the other preacher is that's going to be preaching with me. But you want to catch that if you can. It'll be packed out. It's an amazing spirit, their atmosphere. All those churches come together. All those Christians, second generation, third generation, Navajo Indian Christians come together. And man, we have ourselves a time out there at the Navajo land. So be praying about that. And man, just a lot going on. We got leadership orientation coming up on the 30th. I wanted to make a note about saying something about leadership orientation. This is something we've done every year. And for those of you that are pastors, for those of you that are interested in helping your people take it to the next level, this is an idea that I had years and years ago that you might want to think about implementing. But once a year, and it's usually the Saturday right before school starts, we will have what I call leadership orientation, where we come in here on a Saturday morning and we start at 8 o'clock sharp, and we do 4 50-minute sessions back to back to back to about 12 o'clock. I usually bring another pastor in. This year I'm flying Brother Bob Reno in from Puyallup, Washington. He'll be coming in. and I'm going to let him do 3 of the 4 sessions. And I've already given him some topics and things I want him to deal with, and he'll be putting together those lessons. But what we do is I have intense leadership training for every single person in our church. One of the things that I've noticed in my years of ministry is just a shortage of emphasis on leadership. And a lot of pastors are real good at reminding everybody from the pulpit every service, bless God, I'm the pastor around here. I'm the man of God. Well, if you got to say that every week, there's a problem, okay? But the fact of the matter is the best way to create a group of good, faithful, loyal followers is by training them to be leaders. And you'll be amazed at how that works. And here at our church, we treat everybody that's involved in ministry. I mean, from the nursery workers working on the buses. I don't care if you're just the runners on the buses or whatever, or helping, assisting in junior church, from the bus workers and nursery workers all the way up to senior staff. We have this mandatory leadership orientation, and I mean, it's amazing how people respond to leadership training when you're not telling them, I want you to follow, I want you to follow, I want you to follow. You're saying, I want you to lead, I want you to lead. Get alongside me and let's do this together. And we deal with a variety of topics, of course. We have had every possible subject you can deal with, but it's kind of a more informal. We don't live stream it. It is just for those that are here. But every year we will have about 175, close to 200 of our people that will be in those sessions. And we do it right out there in the sanctuary. And it is amazing. It's amazing at how effective it has been to build unity and build a cohesiveness with our workers, and just be able to share my vision, my heart, my passion, things that I'm fervent about, things that I'm concerned about, and getting everybody on the same page. That's a lot of times the biggest disconnect in the church, in the lack of unity, is there's just everybody's doing their own thing, and you got to get everybody on the same page, as the Bible says, same heart, same mind, singleness of heart, singleness of mind, and get everybody on the same page. And that is something that I would encourage every pastor maybe think about doing, is the leadership orientation, and emphasize that and remind your workers that if they're involved, they're leading. People are looking at them, they're examples, and they need to reflect the vision and the heart and the mission of the church and the pastor. So anyway, that'll be on August the 30th, and looking forward to that. And then, of course, we got our new school year starting up first week of September. And then the second week of September, we're starting back up with Sherwood Baptist College. If you are a pastor and you've got a preacher boy in your church, or someone in your church that's looking to be trained for ministry, and you are not capable or set up or willing or able, or whatever the word might be, to take that responsibility upon yourself, pray about Sherwood Baptist College. We're a small little college. I started the college several years ago to train our men that were surrendering to preach and surrendering to go to the mission field. I was just, be honest with you, people are changing, preachers are changing, colleges are changing at an unprecedented pace. It's unnerving, really, to the point to where you've got to vet men that you've known for years. You got to go check them out. They'll change behind the scenes. They'll change right under your nose. You won't even know it. They're changing, they're compromising, they're dropping all their standards, changing their music. They're flirting around with these modern translations, or preaching with guys and preaching for guys, having guys come in and preach for them that are soft on the King James, that are just wobbly on all these issues. And I'll just be honest with you, I said, I'm not sending our guys off somewhere. We're going to do it right here. And that's when we started Sherwood Baptist College. And you can find out more at sherwoodbaptistcollege.org, or you can reach out to me and we'll get you plugged in to the information that you need the upcoming semester. But we are thrilled about starting our 3rd year. We do have a 3-year course here for now. Maybe at some point God will let us expand that, but right now it's just a 3-year course. We go 4 hours on Monday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night. So that's 12 hours a week that we have. And our full-time Bible college guys are all working full-time jobs. They got families, and then they come here from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night, 3 of the nights of the week. And we are excited about what God's doing. It's our 3rd year, so we got a group of guys that'll be graduating at the end of this semester and getting their diplomas. And we do have some dorms set up where we can accommodate some folks from out of town. We got guys coming in from Kentucky and Georgia and North Carolina, and so we've been getting the dorms ready, and just be much in prayer for the Bible college ministry. And you've got my word, we're not changing. If everybody changes, I don't care if everybody changes. Every independent, and they're not. There's a many of them that's not, but I'm just saying we're not changing. We're not changing from the King James. We're not going contemporary. We're not going to bring that Hillsong Bethel elevation music into our church. It's filth. It's garbage. It's heresy. It's written by heretics, written by lost people. It's written by people that don't know God. They're not walking with God. It's a business. It's a revenue making outfit, and the doctrine's weak. And most of the time, it's not even correct. And so we're not going that way. We're not dropping our dress standards. We're not dropping our Bible version and our getting rid of our hymn books. You can take that to the bank. I'm telling you right now, it ain't happening. And so if you've got somebody looking or praying about Bible college, reach out to us. We'll be more glad to answer any questions that you might have. People ask me all the time, so what's going on? What's going on? I don't know what to tell you. It's just we're seeing it happen, the great falling away. That's the only other way to describe it. Now, none of them will admit that. They get mad. They get upset when you call them apostates or compromisers. They get offended. I don't know what, I would love to ask these guys, what is your definition of compromise? I don't know what they think compromise is. I don't know what they think falling away is when they turn their back literally on everything they was ever taught, everything that they used to preach. So these guys preach this stuff 10, 15, 20 years. Their kids got in their teens, and then all of a sudden they abandon everything that they ever said they believed. You go look at their social media profiles, and their family looks like something out of an Abercrombie and Finch commercial. It's unbelievable. They look like lost people. They look like the people that we go out on Saturdays and witness to and try to get on the buses. They look like unregenerated people, and these are pastors and their families, and it's beyond shocking. It's demoralizing. It's discouraging. The good news is Jesus is coming soon. That's the good news. But to see these fundamental independent Baptist pastors, they look and act worse than the Southern Baptist pastors used to look 25 years ago. That's how bad it's gotten. But anyhow, people ask me all the time, what's going on? It's a great falling away. A great falling away. Just hold the line, men, hold the line, and don't let the crowds sway you. Don't allow the hype to pull you away. Stay firm. Hold the fort, and hold your ground. And God will honor it. God will bless it. They say all the time, you can't build a church. You can't grow a church. In 2025, preaching against sin, naming sin, and having biblical, godly leadership requirements in your church. I was like, well, yes, you can. Yes, you can. I know places that are, and our church definitely. We're still doing our best to not just hold the line, but raise the bar. I've done that every year since I've been here. Raise the bar. And let's talk our people into taking a higher position in a more godly, separated, more holy position. But one thing I wanted to touch on at the end of this podcast, I know really I hadn't really dealt with much except more just rambling. But I wanted to touch on this fact that I get quite a few emails or phone calls from pastors that have taken churches that are pretty much dead. I mean, they may have 5, 6, 7 people, 10 people, 15 people. Nothing's been going on there for a long time. And they reach out to me and it's like, what can I do to revitalize my church? And that is a very hard question to answer, really. And I'm not even going to try to deal with it in detail in this particular podcast. But I will tell you what it would do if it was me. What if God moved me to a church, and I mean to the point of where you even got to be bivocational. You have not enough people to be full time, and you're having to work a job, and you're trying to basically resurrect this valley of dry bones. I'm going to tell you what I would do if it was me. I would go in there with a missionary mentality. I would treat it like it was a church plant starting from scratch. I don't care if that building's been there 100 years. I don't care if you've got 5 people, 10 people, 15 people. You say, I can't get nobody to do anything. I can't get anybody to go soul winning. I can't get anybody. I get it. Just treat it like a church plant. Treat it like a brand new church plant. If it was me, I'd go in there and I would just soul in and I would have outreach. I would not try to get those 5 or 10 people to change the way they've been living their Christian life for the last 50 years. I mean, God can do it, and God might, in many cases, do it with you just preaching and being faithful. But if you're not careful, you'll spend years trying to get those few people to be different and do different and look at the church in a different way. And that's probably, realistically, it's probably not going to happen. Best thing you could do is get new people saved, get new families saved, have a tent meeting, have a evangelistic crusade, get some folks to come in, help you canvass your town, your city. If it was me, I would rebrand my church. I'd get a new logo, freshen up the logo, get new tracks, new outreach cards. The first thing I would do is build a website. You got to have a website. I cannot believe how many independent Baptist churches do not have a website. Listen to me. If people are looking for a church, they're going to get on the computer and they're going to go to Google, or they're going to go to their search engine. They're going to type in Baptist churches in my area. Your church ought to be the first one that pops up. They're not going to come to your church if they can't find you. And having a Facebook page is not good enough. Okay. I know a lot of people say, we don't have a website, but we got a Facebook page. Yeah, but if somebody don't have Facebook, that ain't doing them, good. Get you a website. They're not expensive, but it don't matter what it costs. It's worth it. Okay. And people will be looking and searching. They'll drive an hour to find you. You won't believe how many people reach out to me and they say, I can't find a church. And I'm thinking to myself, there are churches in your area, but they're hard to find because you're not on the internet. You don't have a website. So the first thing you need to do if you take a church like that is go in there and pretend that it's a brand new church plant. Get a website, and they ain't got to be extensive. It needs to just have 3 or 4 pages, a contact page. It needs to have your services right on the front, service times, your doctrinal statement, a little bit about you, a little bio about the pastor and his family. It hadn't got to be a big, expensive website. It just needs to be nice. It needs to be fresh. Get a nice logo. There's a lot of people do that. I don't know how many. I've done it for churches and missionaries for years, helped them do stuff like that. But it's amazing what it'll do to breathe new life into that church. Just get you a whole batch of new tracts and outreach cards, and just treat it like you're a missionary to a brand new place, and you've got a building. And you've got a few people to help shake hands of the visitors. And if it's like what I think it is, you'll be lucky to get them to just get up out of their pew and go shake hands with a first-time visitor. They're not used to that. They're not used to visitors. They're not used to welcoming people in. It's something you're going to have to just work around, okay? But don't get so discouraged. And I know pastors get discouraged. I said, I can't get my people to do anything. I was like, well, get new people. Get new people. Go get new people. The woods are full of them. Get new families in. Go soul winning. Go to places where there's people. Pass out tracts. Initiate conversations. Talk to people. Ask them where they go to church. Invite them to church. Invite them over to your house for lunch after church. That's one thing you can do. Hey, y'all come go to church with us Sunday, and then when you get done, you come over to the house. My wife will have a meal for you. Get people to church. Do whatever you got to do to get them there. And preach the gospel, and just treat it like a missionary starting a church from scratch. Change your mentality, okay? Quit trying to do CPR on a bunch of corpses and just get new people into your church. And maybe one day we'll do an episode on this, and because there's a lot of this. There's a lot of pastors that are just like, I can't get my people to do anything. I hear you. There's nothing more frustrating than a backslid, cold, dead, apathetic, unconcerned Baptist church member. They'll keep you up at night. But go get new people. Get new people. Start a van route. Do something to generate some buzz and some interest in your community. And you'll be amazed at what it will do to your church if you could just get 3 or 4 or 5 new people in there. It'll change the whole atmosphere of the service. It'll encourage you and your family and encourage other people. Might stimulate and provoke them to love and good works, or it might not. I don't know. But maybe we'll do an episode on that later. But I've been going on long enough. I really had planned to deal with a lot more of a biblical type topic today, but I just did not have anything burning on my heart. I've been working on messages and writing books and doing counseling and going to hospital visits. And I just wanted to take today and just kind of reconnect. Let me close with this. Many of you maybe are looking for good resources. Go to Sure Word Publications. Go visit Sure Word Publications. That's our website. And it's not just got my books, and I've got all of my books on there. Somebody asked me today, so how many books have you written? It's like, I don't know, 20 or so maybe. I hadn't counted them up. I got a bunch of them, but I got books on there. But here's the other thing. I've got hundreds and hundreds of messages that are in series, probably 75 or 80 sermon series that you can download to your device and listen to them as you're driving down the road. A lot of them on the family, the marriage, child training. I got one on prophecy. There's 20 messages on end time prophecy. And then we got one on the tabernacle, I think 12 messages. We do a detailed series on the tabernacle. Just a bunch of good preaching on there you can download. Got some sheet music songs that I've written are on there. And I would encourage you to go and just go visit the website and look at all the stuff that's on there. The other thing that's on there is every outline that I preach from the pulpit here at Calvary Baptist Church. When I get finished preaching, I put my outline, my sermon notes, free of charge. You can just go click on the link and you can listen to the message. You can watch the YouTube video. You can follow along. And all of my notes, everything I take to the pulpit, I post right there free of charge at surewordpublications.com. And I just want to thank you. Those of you that listen, those of you that take the time all the way through this episode to follow, you're a blessing to me. You're an encouragement to me. I covet your prayers. This is probably the last podcast I do for 2 or 3 weeks. As I said, we got a busy August. But as soon as I get a Friday morning free, I'll jump back on here and do another one. In the meantime, I encourage you to watch our services. You can stream all of our services at cbcdundalk.org. Calvary Baptist Church, we have Boxcast. You can watch it on our website. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. And our services are a blessing. We don't post everything on YouTube, just the preaching. I don't put the singing, announcements, and all that. The whole service is not on YouTube after the service, but it is streamed live during the service. And so you're a blessing to me. I appreciate you. Stay faithful. I covet your prayers as we try to do what God's called us to do. The battle's hot. The arrows are coming in nonstop, but God is good. We are committed to finishing strong for God's honor and glory. You're welcome to reach out with a text message or an email. I always try to respond if I possibly can, or even message me on Facebook. I'll do my best to respond to you. I thank God for you. Until next time, may the Lord richly bless you.